Hello, everyone. My name is Hannah. I was born and raised in Saudi Arabia and later moved to Canada, where I obtained an MA in Professional, International, and Intercultural Communication and PhD in Rehabilitation Sciences. Before the advent of AI, my cross-cultural interactions were often influenced by people's biases, shaped by the information they had been exposed to. Some of these encounters were spontaneous, where individuals' preconceived notions, despite their well-intentioned efforts to demonstrate cultural sensitivity, still shaped their perceptions. In other cases, particularly in situations involving power dynamics, people mistook their assumptions for objective reality, imposing distorted images that led to conflict in cross-cultural contexts. In this presentation, I aim to explore the challenges of substituting AI-driven education for human intelligence in fostering inclusive learning across global and cultural divides. Drawing on personal experiences, I will examine the limitations of scientific methods and the misalignment of cultural values that hinder a nuanced understanding of diverse human experiences. Specifically, I will reflect on early cross-cultural experiences that shaped my perception of global diversity. 2. Analyze the impact of social categories on intercultural interactions. 3. Discuss the limitations of scientific inquiry in capturing the nuances of human experiences. 4. Highlight cultural value misalignments such as liberalism versus conservatism to illustrate the diversity of social and historical contexts. 5. Examine the shortcomings of AI chatbots such as biased data and limited cultural adaptability in navigating cross-cultural complexity. 6. Propose an integrative and equitable approach to address these limitations for more inclusive AI-driven educational experiences. I was frightened when a nanny from Thailand joined us. Shortly after her arrival, I noticed my parents making new arrangements for the prayer area inside our home, where the nanny was not expected to enter. My mother explained, "We are Muslims and she is Buddhist. She doesn't know about purification rituals. We don't judge her beliefs, we're only responsible for treating her as a human." I was curious about her Buddha pendant. I found the idea of a visible God strange and rather amusing. Giggling, I repeatedly asked her, "Where is God?" She always replied by pointing to her necklace. My parents struggled with the discomfort of enforcing their cultural rituals. The nanny left our home within a month. That experience taught me that varying ways of life don't undermine our shared humanity. Languages and religious beliefs, however, can create discord among people living together. I later learned that these differences might not be as significant as they seemed. A Christian nanny from the Philippines arrived next. No home adjustments were needed. She spoke to me in English, introducing new vocabulary, and often sang to me. Her cultural habits, like going out with a boyfriend, clashed with our community's expectations. I was sad when she left after a short period. These early encounters introduced me to the world's diversity. I was trained to avoid labeling people, as that could blind me from seeing the humans inside them. This was an iteration of a religious quote. People are of two types. They are either your brothers in faith or your equals in humanity. Humanity encompasses human attributes like kindness and understanding, uniting all people. Communication, a key universal value, fosters human connections. Research shows that cooperation, communication, and kindness are essential for bringing nations together. Without these, interactions may lack humanity. When I was pursuing my degree in sociology, I often had candid conversations with classmates. One of them invited me to a summer festival in her small hometown in British Columbia. As we were driving to her town, she stopped at a lake and said, "I'll have a dip, although I don't have my swimsuit with me." She jumped into the lake naked, while I wore a bikini. We laughed about our spontaneity later, appreciating our unique perspectives. I stayed at her home. She initially worried I couldn't manage alone, influenced by media stereotypes about my culture. After seeing my independence, she admitted her assumptions were wrong. Open communication helped her overcome biases, revealing the true person I was. Theoretical knowledge comes from formal sources like academic research, and informal ones like films and media, which often perpetuate negative stereotypes of people of color. Scientific knowledge stems from quantitative and qualitative research methods. Quantitative research uses systematic, objective, and experimental approaches, analyzing numerical data with mathematical and statistical techniques. Originally developed in natural sciences like physics and biology, It's considered reliable for identifying cause and effect relationships within a positivistic framework. Qualitative research, rooted in constructionism, generates knowledge through individuals' interpretations of phenomena in social or historical contexts. Emerging from 17th century colonial ethnography, it focuses on understanding customs and behaviors. Critics argue it's less evidence-based due to researchers' subjective views, unlike the objective nature of quantitative methods. To address these limitations, a mixed methods paradigm combines both approaches. It integrates statistical analysis with interpretative methods to better capture the complexities of human experiences. Scholars advocate for collaborative, interdisciplinary research to bridge knowledge gaps and understand our social world more comprehensively. In the small British Columbia town where I visited my friend, I stood out among mostly white tourists. When she introduced me to people, she labeled me as liberal, while on other cross-cultural interactions, I was referred to as conservative. These political terms have no direct equivalence in my Arab Muslim culture, where societal norms and religious values shape identity differently. In Western contexts, conservatives uphold tradition and hierarchy, often tied to religion, and viewed as old-fashioned, while liberals advocate for social change and progress, equity and secularism, tending to be less religious. Arab and Muslim societies are rooted in diverse historical contexts. Like Christianity, which originated in the Middle East, Islam spread across cultures, embracing diverse linguistic and societal values. Unlike Western sociological frameworks, Islamic principles emphasize universal values such as justice, equity, and equality, promoting social change through reasoned scholarly judgment, called ijtihad, based on ethical sources, that balances tradition and progress. For example, before Islam, Arab patriarchal norms marginalized women, but Islam granted them rights to inheritance, education, and social roles. Women aren't required to contribute financially, but can work freely, reflecting gender equity rooted in family and social needs. In my home region, social attitudes vary widely. A devout Muslim, for example, may have non-practicing relatives, or a traditional woman may live alongside her more modern sister. Bedouin women may wear a face veil to conform to tribal norms but remove it when traveling, while women in public services may wear a niqab for anonymity. These choices reflect both cultural and religious identities. Western political labels like liberal or conservative don't capture the complex interplay of history, culture, and religion in the Arab and Muslim lives. Individual and collective choices shape diverse lifestyles, defying simplistic categorizations. Scientific methodologies and cultural misconceptions often lead to an inadequate understanding of diverse human experiences. Educators and researchers are now using AI platforms like ChatGPT to advance knowledge, but these tools have notable limitations, particularly in cultural appropriateness. ChatGPT exhibits a bias toward American culture, struggling to adapt to diverse global societies. Studies show that it often perpetuates cultural stereotypes in decision-making scenarios. Trained using reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF, ChatGPT lacks human expertise, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. Its shortcomings, biased data, limited accuracy, and insufficient understanding of global social norms hinder its ability to interpret diverse human experiences. ChatGPT has garnered increased attention for its significant role in globalization and cross-cultural communication. In AI-driven education, we should ask, do advanced AI programs, lacking human traits such as kindness and understanding, amplify biases in their knowledge of diverse social contexts and hinder cross-cultural interactions? Or will they succeed in uncovering our blind spots by addressing sparse data and enhancing human experiences? To create inclusive AI-driven education across cultural divides, we must address AI's limitations while leveraging its strengths. The following strategies can ensure equitable, culturally sensitive learning. 1. Collaborative human AI design. Engage interdisciplinary teams of educators, cultural anthropologists, sociologists, and AI developers in integrating human expertise, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. 2. Ethical AI frameworks. Implement ethical guidelines that prioritize universal human values like kindness, justice, and equality to promote empathy and understanding. 3. Diverse data sets. Train AI on diverse global, cultural, historical, and social data, including non-Western and underrepresented perspectives, to reduce biases. 4. Context-sensitive AI. Develop AI systems with adaptive algorithms that tailor responses to specific cultural and social contexts, avoiding rigid Western labels. 5. Community-driven feedback. Use global community input to refine AI, addressing blind spots and cultural misalignments, such as media-driven stereotypes or incomplete data. What are your thoughts on the human and social factors to consider for creating inclusive, cross-cultural AI-driven education? Thank you.